Hello again. Now, I've talked in a previous tutorial about using patterns as a way of practicing scales. So rather than just playing a scale straight through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, on each degree playing a little pattern. So you end up like a 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 sort of thing. So there's another tutorial on here if you want to have a look at that. But sort of to support you in your practice with that, there's a feature in PhatPhish called the RiffBuilder, and I thought what I'd do in this tutorial, in this video, is just give you a quick run through of that and show you how you can use that to build up patterns that you can practice against. Now, in the main PhatPhish dialog down the bottom right hand corner, there's the play section. Currently it's showing I'm playing a basic scale, but if I click on that, there's some standard patterns in there and one or two that I've built up myself using RiffBuilder. What I'll do now is I'll show you how to use the RiffBuilder to set the pattern up. The RiffBuilder is available off the Tools menu. So go to Tools, RiffBuilder. Okay, so this is the RiffBuilder dialog. It looks quite complicated, but it's not. It's quite a bit on here, but it's reasonably straightforward. On the left hand side we've got the riff library, and this shows us all the riffs and patterns I've already got defined. And then over here on the right hand side we've got the current riff, so I can select one from the library or create a new one. And then on the right hand side I've got all the controls that I need for editing and defining that riff. So what I'll do is I'll start from scratch and click on new, and we'll create a new riff, and I'll show you how to build one up from scratch. Okay, so when I click on new, some of the stuff over here on the right hand side becomes enabled, so I can edit that. So I'll start off by giving it a new name. Call this one pattern for video, because that's what it is. And what we do is we say, well, where do we want to start on? So for practice pattern, we'll start on the first degree. Then what do we want to do? We've got options. We can just stop. So basically, that's just going to be playing the basic scale through, because you're playing a note and then stop it. But then what I can do for the next note in the pattern is repeat the last note, go up or down to another degree. So what I'll try is I'll go up. Where do I want to go up to? Well, I want to go up to. Let's make it a bit like an arpeggio. I'll start from the first, go up to the third degree. Then what do I want to do after the third? Well, I can stop there, so the pattern just becomes 1, 3, and then if I play that on the scale, it becomes 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, and so on. What I'll do is I'll make this a bit more complex. So I've got first to the third, then I'll go up again, say to a fifth. So basically I'm playing an arpeggio. Then from the fifth degree, let's go down to a fourth, and then stop there. So we've got a pattern that goes 1, 3, 5, 4. I'll do is I'll save that for now. Always good to save your changes. So that's now appeared in the riff library. Now I've got that pattern for video in there. If I wanted to make any changes, I can click on that and hit load, and it puts that into the current riff area, so I can make any changes that I want. If I make any changes, I can save it, undo changes or whatever. Okay, so just OK that. Now that riff, that pattern is available. If I go down here to what I'm going to play, just a bit at the bottom of the screen here on what the camera's picking up, but the pattern for video is now at the bottom of the list, so I'll select that. Now what I've done on the play options in PhatPhish is I've set the play speed quite slow, so you can get a better idea of what's going on when we play this riff through. So it's artificially slow for the purposes of this initial demonstration. Okay, so we've got the pattern for video selected down there in that list. If I click on the speaker icon, what it'll do is it'll play that pattern through. So if you watch, we're playing in the key of C major. So that C note here is going to be our root note. And we define the pattern as 1, 3, 5, 4. So what we should see is something, let's put it in plectrum mode. Got 1, 3, 5, and then 4. And what it'll do is it'll go up to the next note in the scale and play the same set of steps through the scale. So we'll get D, F, A, G, and so on. Okay, so I'll just play that scale through now so you can see how that pattern works. Now, one problem perhaps with that is when you've got a pattern with quite a few notes in, once it runs away, you can possibly lose track of, like, well, which degree of the scale are you playing that pattern off. What you can do, if we go to the options dialog, so the options menu, then play settings, we've got a setting down here for percussion. And what I'll do is I'll set this to full. And what I've got is a snare drum on the on beat and a hi-hat on the off beat. Now, I'm not too sure how well the little microphone on the webcam is going to pick this up, so I'll explain what's going to happen here in case you can't hear it clearly. What it'll do is on the first note of the scale, the first note of the pattern, it'll play that on beat voice, so we'll get the snare drum, so you get a very distinct oomph from the snare. Then the other notes in the pattern will get what's defined here as the offbeat voice, which is the closed hi-hat, so you'll just get the tss of the closed hi-hat. So if you think about the pattern we've got here, there's the 1, 3, 5, 4. So the 1 you'll get the snare drum, the on beat, and then the 3, 5 and 4 you'll get the closed hi-hat. So the rhythm pattern will be doom, tss, 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 doom, tss, 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 as that will play through along with the notes. So you should be able to hear when we'll play the pattern through which is the, if you like, the on beat and which are the other notes in the pattern. Now that sounded fine through the computer speakers here, but like I said, I'm not too sure how well the webcam microphone picks that up. But if you try that on your own copy of PhatPhish, you should be able to hear that okay. So there's a introduction to how you can build patterns up. There's one or two in there already that I've built up, and I've just go through any time I think I want a new pattern to practice against. Just go into RiffBuilder, build that up, and then I can play along with that. Using the play settings, what we can do is we can change the speed, so as you get more proficient with a pattern, you can build up the beats per minute. So say that says 110 beats per minute. Play the pattern through again. Now, if you've only just defined that pattern and you're getting your fingers around it, starting at something like that sort of tempo might be a bit ambitious. That's fine. Start off something slowly and just build up the speed as you get more proficient, and you can play along. So as PhatPhish is playing the note, you're playing the note on the guitar and you're perfectly in sync. Then just take the speed up a notch or two in PhatPhish and keep playing along, and that should help you to get a bit more proficient with the pattern. But always play the speed that you're comfortable with and build up gradually, rather than trying to run before you can walk. Right, so that's a quick introduction to the PhatPhish RiffBuilder feature. I've got a few ideas for what's going to be going into that in a future version of PhatPhish, which I'm starting to plan now. Give you a little bit more control over the way that you build riffs up, and being able to edit them and so on. But more news about that sort of in due course as that version of PhatPhish develops and evolves. Okay, so I'll leave it there for now. Let you go away and practice with that RiffBuilder and come up with your own patterns and use those as part of your daily practice routine. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, post them on the comments section in YouTube or on the PhatPhish wall or timeline as it is now on Facebook, or just send me a private message. I'm always happy to to talk to people about PhatPhish and find out how you're using it and help you out with any problems that you might be having. Okay, so thanks for watching, and see you in another video soon. Bye for now.